Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just gonna give like a first impressions video, I guess, of Guardian Games and this mid-season update for Destiny 2. It's kind of weird calling it a mid-season update because one, the season is double the length of a normal season, and then a little bit more after that. But also, this is the second of four mid-season patches we're getting for this season because we had Riven's Wishes, which I think had an update tied with it. We have Guardian Games tied with it. A loot update for Nightfall's Trials, Iron Banner, and Prophecy, which I'll get into that. April will have Into the Light. Might talk a little bit about how that's looking. And then in May, we will have the new Crucible maps. And I would assume we'll have a little bit more coming with that update, like Balance Pass and all that stuff. But let's just talk about what's going on now. Let's break down what happened in this update. So, we got Guardian Games. Probably my new favorite seasonal event, which is weird to say because I've ragged on it for years. I liked it a lot last year, and I think it did a lot of things right. And there's things I wish came back routinely from that. But yeah, this year it's good too. The one thing I wish it had was the double weapon XP, and I wish that was for every holiday event. So like 3 weeks of every season, you got double weapon XP. I know we have the manual currency leveling, but I like using my crafted weapons to get a feel for them before I, fully commit to them. So it'd be nice to have that double weapon XP back. And it also helps me save on my resources. Not that I really need to. But yeah, that's one thing I wish carried over. But the weapons, honestly, I don't mind them. I've always been a fan of the title and I've used it a lot. The only reason I haven't used it recently is solar weapons are kind of just better, like strictly. But now that the title has repulsor brace with destabilizing rounds, I think it is more convincing as an option when you're not on Void. Hear me out on this. I know a lot of people are like, why do you need that? Because if you're using the title or a weapon with a repulsor brace, you're probably on Gear Falcon Hunter or you're on Titan. Both have incredibly easy ways to make things volatile, and Warlocks weaken a lot of stuff with Child of the Old Gods and their grenades and things like that. Here's the thing. If you have repulsor brace with the stabilizing rounds, honestly, not great. I wish they would get a buff. But you kill an enemy that is volatile, you get Void Overshield. So, in my opinion, that combo of perks is probably better on other subclasses than Void. Because then you're applying Volatile, which isn't the worst debuff, but you're also getting Void Overshield. Not the best buff, but it is more survivability. But yeah, I like the title. I'm glad it's back. Traxipos, I really liked it last year. There's kind of no reason to use it now. Scout rifles are just as bad, if not worse, in my opinion, generally. I think in PvP, some people really like it with Cascade Point. So if that's you, hey, that's pretty cool. But I think it could have gone with some really funny rules. I think Onslaught, because everything's auto rifle now, or full auto now, I think if they put Onslaught on it, that would have been really cool. But they didn't. It's pretty much not different. It has some better perks like Eye of the Storm, things like that, whatever. It's just not for me. Hullabaloo, funny. It's just funny grenade launcher, and that's fine. I like funny weapons. But at the end of the day, funny grenade launcher, and I'll probably make a couple builds using it. But the biggest heavy hitters of Guardian Games this year for me, I hope come back routinely. One, and I think everyone's expecting me to say this, but skimmers. Skimmers are super fun, and I hope they are more prevalent throughout the game. And I'm going to tie it into the next point. Twitch drops. I think YouTube has drops too. Like, I think that's a thing you can do. I don't know if you have to be a partner or anything for them. Twitch, you don't have to be. Literally anyone, just enable your drops. Like, next time I stream, hopefully Monday, Tuesday, just hop on there for a couple hours and you're gonna get a diamond medallion for Guardian Games. Would I prefer other things be rewards for drops? Yeah, I would. Like, I think a perfect thing for Guardian games would have been the sponsored skimmer. And I know there's lore behind the skimmer coming from the Conquer Dad and all that, whatever. People ask me where I got the blimp ship, and I honestly never understand what they're asking me until I go back and rewatch. I'm like, oh yeah, my ship on my Warlock is the Guardian Games blimp that has all the different foundries on it. Why couldn't we get that on a skimmer, like sponsored skimmer? I don't know what to call it other than that. And that's just a Twitch drop thing because it's funny, haha. You gotta watch it to get it. It's like racing and things like that, how their suits and their vehicles are all like splattered with sponsors. I think that would have been cool. Maybe something we'll look out for in the future, Bungie. More cosmetics in there, less like gameplay impacting things, please. But I mean, 1 diamond medallion for 2 hours of watch time, it's not that much of an increase. But like, please keep doing drops. It's really fun. And I'm going to talk more about how drops have benefited me probably in the coming weeks, and how it's benefited a lot of Destiny streamers, even me, who is rather small, especially on Twitch. But yeah, next point for this up. I'll be honest, I have not touched Prophecy since it got updated, but I will soon. I'll probably just solo it, maybe, we'll see. Because like, I want that SMG pretty bad, and that arc auto rifle not bad. Like, the loot changes not horrible. I do wish the Last Breath didn't leave. I would rather have the Last Breath exactly how it was, but add the origin trait, than have Deep Breath or whatever the old arc pulse rifle that's now solar is. Because like, I mean, yeah, solar weapons are just strictly better, but you know, like, we didn't need to change the element of an existing weapon to keep it in there. And I'm pretty sure there are solar pulse rifles in the same archetype. Like Jurassic Green is the same archetype, I believe, and that thing's solar, or at least it has been in the past. It might have changed and I just can't remember. But yeah, that was a bit odd from the Prophecy loot update. But I'm excited to get back in there. The things I'm more excited for are the grenade launchers from Iron Banner and Nightfalls. Of course, we got an Eager-Edged Sword again in Nightfalls, and that's pretty cool. It's also stasis, so it has Cold Steel, one of 2 weapons with that. Please put it on Glaives. I think that'd be really funny. The Trials weapons I'm not too interested in. Like, they're not horrible, just not interested. But Tusk of the Boar and Wild Style, they look like slappers. Wild Style, I know its perks, technically speaking, aren't the greatest, but like, I think we're all forgetting the best perk on that thing is the archetype. It's double fire. Like, Wilder Flight does more damage than Surges, so it makes sense to use Wilder Flight with Apex Predator than using a solar breach loaded grenade launcher. Like, it just does. It does more damage than a fully surged solar grenade launcher. Now we have a solar double fire grenade launcher to match our Apex Predators, so we can do more damage than before. And it can be adept if you care about adept weapons that much. I guess as adept big ones. But like, yeah, Wild Style is pretty sick. And it being solar is enough to make it good. It has Envious Assassin. It has One for All, which isn't great. Surrounded, I guess. I do wish it had a better damage perk and auto loading, but I can understand why it doesn't, because solar weapons are just kind of better generally. So we got one that wasn't as good as its Void counterpart, in my opinion. Then Tusk of the Boar. I think Tusk of the Boar, well, it's the true replacement for Forbearance. I don't think it's probably better. But yeah, it has very similar roles, like probably the same. but it's behind Iron Banner, which I think PvP needed more loot that competed with high-end PvE. I just thought the right place for that would be comp and trials, not not Iron Banner, not a 6v6 game mode. But yeah, that's what happened, and controversial take. I do think PvP, this update, is a little bit better, just a little bit. But I think it will push a lot of people further from Destiny. Like, I know player retention's a big issue right now. I think Tusk of the Boar is going to make that worse whenever Iron Banner comes back. And people are going to be like, well, I got to get that chain reaction wave frame that has slice on it, because that's really good. And then they go in there and they're like, oh, that's cheeks. I'm just gonna uninstall and maybe come back for the final shape. I think Tusk of the Boar is gonna not ruin the game, but like, it'll push a couple people away for sure, which isn't great for Bungie. So yeah, there's that. Also, could be completely wrong. Could make people come back in droves. I don't know. I just don't really like Crucible, and I haven't for a while, basically since Shadowkeep came out. So yeah, I think the meta is a little bit better. I think PvP plays a little bit better, but I still feel like primaries have been power crept to a point where it's just insane. Like, I think primaries are killing faster than they did in Forsaken, which they killed way faster than they did in year one. But specials got nerfed, and that's way better. It's just, I feel like I explode a lot, and I've never been a huge fan of that in games. Like Overwatch, they made this huge update, like, so you don't explode as often. You're exploding just as often as before. I just don't like that. I like to be able to come back. I like to have that opportunity to come back in a fight and win it from down. And I just can't do that in modern Crucible. If you can and you have any tips or pointers, I'd gladly take them. But I'll stick to Gambit. Okay, that's where I live and thrive. So yeah, that's generally this update. Also, I don't know if anyone else is having this issue. I have crashed 3 times using my skimmer. So, at least at the time of recording this, it's only been 3 times. But skimmers crash my game. So if you're running that issue, let me know. And let Bungie know, because that's kind of annoying. And I'm sure they do know. So, yeah, skimmers crashing games is not great. Anyways, thank you for stopping by, checking it out. Check out the pinned comment down below. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that junk. And yeah, see you next time.